the 506 general solicitation, do not say anything that you think is not likely to happen. One of the things that our platform does is it's going to issue the certificate. This is a very big deal, folks. You got to think about this for a minute. Think about 1,000 shareholders and keeping track of all that stock certificates for all these shareholders. At 1,000, if you're selling $1 a share, that's 1,000 shares, and you're hitting all these unlimited shareholders. That's a pretty big deal, right? You got to keep track of all these people. So think about it. If you're going to do a crowdfunding offering, and you have all these people and all these certificates and all of this thing, it's a big deal. So one of the things that we're proposing is a very low-cost stock transfer agency where, there's a range of a fee that you can engage somebody to manage all these shareholders for you. It's a pretty big deal because you got to know where they live. What if you're going to issue a dividend payment? You got tax, IRS, tax issues with the securities. All these things are really big deals. Think about them. Consider them. Investor access, here's one, for example. What would be the best scenario? Let me give you an example of what I just talked about as far as the best example goes. One of the best examples I could say about driving people into an investment opportunity is you brand it on your site. Why is this? This is not like Kickstarter, okay? This is driving somebody into your brand and then allowing them from your brand to look at the investment opportunity. So for example, on investor relations, this could still be a crowdfunding offering. They come to your site. You're still promoting your brand. You're still advertising your brand. You're not advertising Kickstarter. You're advertising your brand or somebody like Kickstarter. And then when they get there, they click on, okay, and then it links into the back office of a Sprowtt. This is kind of the Sprowtt platform. So they're taken into a login page, and in the login page, this is, these are things to be thinking about and looking at when you're considering crowdfunding. You know who the investor is. You know what their registration is. We qualify them. Reg D, right there, we're qualifying them. Reg A, we're qualifying them. We know who they are. Okay? We're grabbing their IP. We know if they're lying. Now, if they lie here, this is digitally backed up, so they can't say, hey, we weren't accredited. No, you said you were accredited. We have a permanent record of it. At that point, when you learn about the qualifications and accreditation, you can either allow or disallow. One of the things I like about this is that if you did a Reg A and somebody came in from Florida and you're not approved in Florida, you don't necessarily need to allow them to look at your investment opportunity. In fact, Florida's not going to let them do it. Here's the certified issuer required platform. You know who it is. It's the permanent record of it all. We have it. The compliance, the tracking, it's all there. It's all digitally there. It's all done. We're going to keep you out of trouble. The investment enforcement automation, it's all there. We know what the activity was, who it was, how long. The compliance, they agreed to the Federal Trade Secrets Act, they got your document, and it's all there on the tracking and the automation. They can download the prospectus, the summary, the offering, the platform. Everything is right there, okay? I'm just going through these rather quickly. You can add an investor, fraud preclusion, the database, portal setup, automated transparency, total data real time. And then there's the offering page itself. So when when you look at the whole entire system, and one of the reasons why I wanted to, really drill this home today is because you're all really kind of busy running your businesses, right? To raise capital is a full-time job. It takes a lot of time away from running your business. Get into it. If you're going to go out and raise it, use a system that has video features, that has PowerPoint features, so that in a sense that roadshow becomes virtual. You can send the investor in there, he can look at it, he can see it, and you know what else? If you're going to send a business plan out, try to use a system where it's trackable. I can't tell you how many business plans I get, and I'm looking at it going, it's got a lot of confidential information. I never signed an NDA with this guy. I'm a good person. I'm not going to do anything with it, but you don't know where that business plan's going to end up. So make sure, like our system, you have a record of who downloaded it, where it went. If you get hurt, somebody tries to rip your business ID off, you got some sort of method to go back. So even today, if you're a client here in this incubator, make sure, you just don't randomly send these business plans out, these executive summaries. You never know where it's going to end up, or if it's going to end up in a potential competitor's hands. Your company does take off. Be careful. Some of the other things that I can tell you today about crowdfunding was when we started working on the crowdfunding bill. I was asked, they called me. I'll never forget the day. It was Marine Brown who got beat. He was a Republican senator in Massachusetts. He signed the bill with her. And she said to me, Mark, we're going to do this, and I really need your help. And, if there's anything you can say to me that, I really need to consider in doing this, what would it be? And I said, first, you got to make it understandable. And you got to make it easy for the entrepreneur to use. And if you can't do that, and you're going to require a lot of legal help, I said, in order to use crowdfunding, I said, it's not going to probably be very effective. And I said, she said, okay. Well, that seemed to be the spirit, about 75% of the way through drafting the legislation. The idea was behind it was that somebody in Nebraska could hear about this who didn't have access to USF. They're in the middle of Nebraska. They got a great idea, and they want to go raise some money, right? Well, that guy in Nebraska is going to get this crowdfunding bill by the time it's done, and unless he has a law degree, he's probably not going to be able to understand it, because I was involved with drafting it, and I had a hard time now to where the point it conflicts back and forth, and I don't know at the end of the day if it's going to be very usable, but I think that it was well-meaning. I think the intent is good, and I think some people are going to be able to use it. But here's one thing that I would recommend, if it was just me, entrepreneur to entrepreneur. Use it to go maybe attract your first 50 investors. Get your compliance money together and go do a Regulation A, or build that first prototype and try to go to another security offering platform and try to limit your number of shareholders that you're going to do under a crowdfunding law. Now, people say, well, Mark, I can't do a Reg A for you. No, but 5 hours up the road. If you're not willing to drive 5 hours up the road to Georgia, you're not serious about raising money. That's my opinion. South Carolina, you can do it too. But you can't do it here. Now, one thing that Governor Scott and I had a conversation, he asked me, he said, Mark, let's sit down and talk about it. Governor Scott's a former securities attorney. He said, let's sit down and talk about it. Let's see what we need to do to get it done. Well, I think the state security administrators, I think the message at the top, the National Association of State Security Administrators are pushing down Reg A to the states, saying, hey, let's look at this. Let's get this done. And let's adopt it. Go ahead.
I have a question. You said I'm going down to Georgia 5 hours time to work to do so. What about we need to have a Georgia state address to do so?
Well, it's a very good question.
At the same time, what about your business? Then it's supposed to be registered in this country?
Well, that's a very good question. See, I'm a Delaware corporation. And I can do a Reg A offering in the 33 states. There's 33 states today that accept Reg A offerings. 33 of the 50.